Hey guys, and welcome back to the World War II Solitaire board game channel. And guess what? Well, we gotta play another game of Aachen. That's one of the games featured in Cities of the Damned. You can find a link in the video description on where you can buy this excellent game. And yeah, I am really enjoying playing this game, so we are gonna play it a third time. And the twist is that this time we are gonna be using all of the optional rules. So I think it's great when these kind of games, because the game is very light itself. So when they add some optional rules on top of that, which, you know, if it's not too complex already, I think it can be kind of fun to play around with those. And you might not necessarily want to play with all of the optional rules. You might want to do it the first time to see which one of them that you enjoy. And then moving forward, you might just want to add the ones that you did enjoy. However, we are going to play with all of the optional rules. Some of them will make the game harder and some of them will make it easier. So I think it's a good balance if you play with all of them. And there's a few optional rules, so I am going to add them up on the screen by scanning my rulebook and doing some video editing software magic. So the first optional rule is parent organization. So there are 4 parent organization, and that's going to be let's see, a 2nd and 3rd Battalion of the 26th Infantry Regiment. And then we have Task Force Hogan from the famous 3rd Armored Division. That's Patton's best. And then we have, let's see here, Task Force Hughes, and those are from the 100 Infantry Regiment. So you have to subtract 1 from your attack value for each different parent organization beyond the first participating in combat resolution to a maximum of -3 in attack value. The self-propelled artillery units, the M12s here, A and B, may operate with any parent organization without that penalty. So if usually I leave one company behind with their leader to add those self-propelled artillery guns, and then I take those 2 and I stick them together. And if you do that, you have to put a -2. If I were to move in to an area with 2, that would be a -2. So that makes things a little bit more complicated. It's a little bit limiting. So I don't think it's an optional rule that I would normally want to play with. Also, one more thing to keep track of. But again, I want to play with all the optional rules now so that we both make this game a little bit harder and a little bit easier. So it balances itself out. And obviously you're gonna want to attempt not to mix them up. But if you take too many casualties, you're not going to have many more options than doing that. So the next optional rules, I think that is pretty cool actually. It's historical random events. So those wishing to relive the approximate conditions of the historical battle may forego the random event phase and use the following events for each day of the battle. So some of these are very bad, like for example, first SS Panzer Corps breakthrough. I never had that happen, and when it happens, you skip 1 turn. So you don't roll for supplies, you don't do any attack, you can't move any units. So basically you just lose 1 turn. So that's pretty bad when that happens. And we can see that we have 3 turns of rain, so that's also not great. We only have 2 turns of nothing happening. And then we have the Aachen Defenders counterattack, which means you halve your supply points. And then we have the first SS Panzer Corps offensive, which means that the 3rd Battalion, which is over here, can move, but they can't attack. But I still think it's kind of cool that you get the historical one. So I'm going to go with that one as well. And then we have the 3rd optional rule, which is that Louisberg Hill, Area 23, you cannot employ any armored unit or use armored support here. So I borrowed one of these attack uphill counters from the sister game Cassino to remind myself that I cannot enter with any armor or use any armor support. So that hill is going to be a lot harder to take you can only do an infantry assault on it. And then we have one more optional rule, which is going to make it harder, and it's rubble. So place a rubble marker in each urban and fortified area when preparing for play. Unless an engineer support marker is committed to the attack value, American units attacking an area containing rubble may not receive the combined arms bonus. In addition, add +1 to the German defense value so long as German morale is strong. So that's going to make it a lot harder to take those urban and fortress areas. You're really going to have an engineer or you're going to be in trouble. Luckily, I do, as you know, like to use a lot of engineers. And then we have one rule here that makes it easier, and I really like this rule. This has to be my favorite. American controls, it's Hotel Quellenhof, it's called. American control of, and it's over here. American control for the third time of the historical German HQ in Hotel Quellenhof, Area 17, when German morale is 6 or lower, creates a sudden collapse of German defenses and is an automatic victory. If German morale is 7 or higher, the occupation causes -3 drop in German morale. It's assumed that the HQ is able to relocate and continue their resistance. So I think actually that is a very good rule. I kind of wish that was even in the optional rules, because like my favorite part of this compared to Stalingrad is that like in Stalingrad you need to clear the whole map, and I think that is very hard. So I like that there is a few possibilities to that you really don't have to use that tactic of just being super aggressive, because that's basically the only way to do that. So as you saw in my previous games, I've been kind of playing it safe and winning on morale instead, and that's one option. And now we have a third option, which is basically trying to surround their Hotel Quellenhof, saving up our strength, and then making one final big attack. We're probably gonna have, hopefully, artillery support, armor support, air support and engineer support, and just, you know, pushing everything into Hotel Quellenhof as soon as we have the Germans down to 6 on their morale track. I think that's very thematic and very cool. So that's going to be my plan for this game anyway. And then we have the final optional rule, and that is play balance. If you find an American player is struggling to achieve victory more than half the time, use the following rule. When an urban area, and that's the square areas, is controlled by the American player, roll a d6. On an even roll, the German morale change is -1. On an odd roll, the German morale change is -2. So I don't see that as helping too much, to be honest, because there really aren't too many of those areas. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you might not even usually capture all of those. So let's say you capture 4 of them. If you're lucky, you might get 2 more, or you might make the Germans lose 2 more morale. So I think that's definitely is going to make it easier, or likely it's going to make it easier, but I don't think it's 100% guaranteed, and I don't think it's game-breakingly easier. So anyway, that's the final optional rules. So let's see how many there are actually. I think there's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So 6 optional rules. So let's go ahead and remember those rules, and we are going to go ahead and start. So the first thing we do is roll for random. Oh, we don't roll for random event, because on turn 1, historical random events, we have nothing. So instead we roll only for our supply points. And I still can't see, if they end up here from where I'm sitting, I can't see what they are. So it's always a surprise for me. You see it before I do. So that's a pretty decent roll. We roll 9, 12 points. Okay, so we're definitely gonna get RT and engineer support, as we're not gonna have be able to deal with the rubble otherwise. So let's see, how many did I say we have? 12. So we could actually get 4 of these, and that would be 12. And the reason why I'm getting so many, you could argue that I could get some air support and some armor support, so on, but right now I feel like I have to get engineers and artillery, because that's going to be needed in the future turns to take over these rubble areas. Okay, so I'm gonna start. Oh, we missed placing out one of those areas. So there's actually, I said there was, I think I said there were 6 of them, so there's actually 7 of them. So let's see here. There we go. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and activate this area and head in here. And another thing I haven't put out is the combat calculator. So there we go, with a German marker from Stalingrad, advanced to the Volga, 1942. Let's go ahead and turn this around, and it's a fanatic. You know how much I love those fanatics, right? He has a combat value of 6, +2 for the area, and +1 for high morale. I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And I'm definitely gonna go ahead and push both artillery and engineer support, as I need to overrun him. So that's gonna gain me 4. So we go from 11 to 15. I need to roll 7 higher than him, and I'm currently just 6 higher than him. So when we roll now, I need to roll definitely higher than him, or it's gonna be a stalemate. And yes, we make it, and that was very close. We roll 11. So we end up on, let's see here, 26, and he rolls 9. So he ends up at 18. So let's see here, that should be more, right? 26, yeah, 26 is totally 8 more than him. So that fanatic is gone. And they lose 1 morale. And my units, since they performed an overrun, they are now fresh, so they can attack again. So the question is, if I want to do that, we should also have a rubble here. It might be smart to engage with one of these rubble areas, and the reason why is because if I get a barrage, I can retreat and then use another unit. So I don't have to take that hit. So I will go with these guys into Kanonenweise, which is an urban area. So we have rubble, so we need to use those. Okay, we have elites, and they have a combat value of 11 with the high morale. And you remember, I'm also at 11. And I'm still going to use that artillery and air support to be +4. But remember, they get to roll 3 dice here, so it's really not, it's really no guarantee here. And it's not looking too good. See, I cannot see these dice. I was hoping for a 6. Okay, that's very bad. I roll 4. So I'm gonna go to 19. And they roll 9. So 6, 7, 8, 9. So they roll 20. So they actually roll 1 more than me. That's not a good situation. So my lead attacking unit is taken out. My guys have to retreat. And they are also spent. And then the Germans, unfortunately, gain 1 morale. So they go back to 19. Very bad. I still have artillery and air support, artillery support. And let me check. I want to see what the next random event is going to be. It's going to be defenders, so half the supply points, and then we have rain. So we don't want to do too much combat in rainy days for obvious reasons. So these guys are instead heading in here. Hopefully this is going to work out better than the last did. And we have a barrage. I think I'm contemplating whether perhaps I should retreat on that. I already lost 1 guy, so I don't want to lose 1 more, since next turn is going to be half the supply points. So that's unfortunate. I did not make them lose any morale as they gain their morale back. But that's war. Sometimes that happens. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the next turn. And we will not roll for random events. Instead, we have Aachen Defender's counterattack, which is half the supply points. So let's see here. We should advance our turn tracker, and we have sun, and we gain one of these guys. So I forgot to split up my guys, but that's how it goes sometimes. I should have done that. And then we roll for supply points, which will be halved. Man, why do they always end up here where I can't see them? Okay, we roll 9. That's not very good, because that's going to be 4 supply points. I will use 1 supply point to get this guy back, and 3 supply points to gain artillery and engineer support. Alright, so I'm gonna activate, see here, I'll activate this area and move here, and then this guy is gonna move in here, and then I'm gonna move into this area, but I'll only bring 3 of my units since I wanna give them the artillery support next turn. So they have a combat value of 9. With the high morale. I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 as well. So of course I go ahead and use artillery support and engineer support for 4 additional damage. We end up on 13. And remember, we have rubble here, so if I would not use that engineer support, the Germans would have a +1. Let's go ahead and roll. They roll 9. 6, 7, 8, 9, and I roll 7. So I'm at 20. So fortunately, we do get that guy. So it's now under US control. And let's go ahead and read. I can't remember if it was an odd. On an odd roll, the German morale change is -2. So hopefully we can roll an odd number now. That's when we get a 6. The only time we get a 6 is when we don't want a 6. So that's what -1 morale. Okay. Let's see here. I cannot use these guys since they already activated and moved, so I'm gonna activate this guy and move over here with him, and that's gonna have to be the end of the game. There's nothing more I can do. Okay, so that's the end of the game, so we go to the next turn and we gain this artillery piece and put them with these guys, and now the random event is gonna be rain. So we flip this to the rain side. And we're not doing too good, to be honest. I feel like it's a little bit problematic, but it is what it is. Let's roll for these. I think we're going to have to use armor support, so let's hope we get a high number. Not terribly good. We roll 11. So I'll do 2 armor support. That's 6 points. So we're going to be down to 5, and then we do 1 artillery and engineer support, so we're down to 2 points, and for 2 points we do 1 more engineer support, as the engineers are needed for the rubble. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move in to take this place, since they're not gonna be elites anymore. They're gonna be a little bit easier to beat. And they have 7 plus 3, so that's 10. And then they have +1 because of high morale and +2 because of rain, so they're gonna be at 13. I'm gonna be at 12 because I have a 6 value lead element with support from 6 units. Should I use armor support is the question. if I use artillery and engineer support, I'll be at 16. Sorry, yeah, I'll be at 16. Okay, I'm going to use armor support 2, armor support, artillery support, and engineer support. So we gain a total of 7. So we go to 19. And that's just the rain. When the rain comes, you have to be ready to spend some of those supply points. That's just the way it is. Let's go ahead and roll. And it's not looking too good, but I think maybe we will make it. They roll 7. Yeah, okay, we're gonna make it. They go to 20, and I roll 4, so I go to 23. So he's knocked out, and we don't care about the rubble, of course, since we had engineers, so I'm spent. And then we roll and hope for an odd number. And we roll 5, so we actually get one, so that's now 16 VP they're down to. I am gonna go ahead and enter this area, which is a suburban area, so it should have a lower defense value, the German counter. It's an ambush, 5. That's gonna cost me 2 VP if I use him as the lead, but our combat value is 7 plus 1 for high morale plus 2 for rain, so it's at 10. That's rather high. If I use him, I will have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 as well. But I could just go ahead and use my engineer and artillery support on that, I guess. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I'll use this chap as the lead instead of this, as the ambush will destroy the lead element after combat. So I'll have, again, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's see, 4, yeah, 10, it should be 10. So I'll use my artillery support, so we're down to 1, and engineer support, we're down to 2. So that's gonna give me plus 4, so I go from 10 to 14. Let's go ahead and roll. And yeah, we're gonna have an overrun. We roll 7, so we end up on 21, and they roll 2, so they end up at 12. So that's an overrun. So we capture that area and gain, or they lose 1 morale. And remember that the morale for the Germans is only lost in the suburban areas, maximum 1 per round. So I would like to go to the next one, but that wouldn't be helpful to me. So let's see here, next turn we're gonna have the 3rd Battalion can't act, which is these guys. So I'm thinking that it would probably be smart to attack 1 more turn with these guys into this area. And they are fresh since they did an overrun, so they are gonna go ahead and head into this area. And it's a little bit risky with the weather being rain, but we have armor support, so we should hopefully be fine. Famous last words. And we have a barrage, so we are gonna sacrifice 1 unit. They have 7 plus 3, that's 10. Plus 3 for rain and high morale, that's 13. I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we push the armor support. Sorry, we start with artillery support and armor support. So artillery support, armor support, finally engineer support, which gives plus 2, and then plus 1 from combined arms. And we have rubble, so we have to use that. We have to use that artillery support. Let's go ahead and roll. Sorry, that's engineer support. Oh man, it's not looking good from what I can see. Oh, that's gonna be bad. 24, and they roll 11. Let's see here. 6 plus 5. Oh man, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's a stalemate. Okay, that's not good. It's a stalemate, so we're gonna have to roll for bloody streets next turn. That's just gonna be it. Okay, so that's my turn. We go to the next turn, and we do not roll for random events, as we know that it's gonna be the 1st SS Panzer Corps offensive, and that is going to be 2nd Battalion units may move, but it actually says 3rd Battalion on the random events table. I don't have the energy to find this spot in my video, but look here, it says the 3rd Battalion, and in this one it says 1st SS 2nd Battalion. So I'm assuming that maybe, I don't know which one is historically correct, but let's go with the 3rd Battalion since that's what the optional rules say, and they should override the standard rules. So we roll for, and which one is the 3rd? Yeah, this is the 3rd, so these guys can't be used this turn, or these guys. So let's go ahead and roll for supply points, and let's hope for a miracle, and we certainly did not get a miracle. We got 8. So let's do 1 engineer support, 1 armor support. That's gonna be, sorry, 1 artillery support there was, and 1 armor support. That's gonna be 4 points, so we're down to 4. And then let's do 1 artillery, 1 engineer, that's 3. And then for the final point, we get this guy back to the fight. Okay, so we have to roll for bloody streets. We don't want a 5, and we definitely don't want a 6. If we get a 6, this is pretty much lost, I feel like. We get a 5, that's not good at all. They gain morale. Okay, I'm gonna get some payback now. I'm gonna kill them so hard. So 10 plus 1 in morale. I have, let's see, 6, 12. I'm gonna use artillery and engineer support to gain 4 more, so we go to 16. And I'm tempted to use the armor support to be able to get them to become fresh. Let's see how many rounds we have left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're gonna lose 1 round from a random event. So we have 4 turns left. So if we do 3 morale each turn, 3 times, that's gonna be 12 morale points. So 16 is gonna go down to 4. That's gonna be really close. That's gonna be really close, and that's if we get 3 morale every turn. It's not super likely, but let's see, what's the next one? The next one is gonna be 1st SS breakthrough, and that's gonna be a skipping turn. Then we have rain. So we're probably gonna have, I'm assuming that we're probably gonna have a good amount of supply points from the rain. So I'll use that armor support and hope for a overrun. Let's go ahead and roll. Man, I roll 4, so I end up at 23. This bastard rolls 10. So he goes from 11 to 21. So it was good that I committed that armored support, but yeah, it's a shame I couldn't do an overrun. Let's go ahead and roll. Let's hope for an odd number now. Yeah, perfect. So they lose 2 morale. That's just what we needed right now. And that's going to be it. We can't activate this unit because of the panzer breakthrough. So we go to the next turn, which is turn 5. And then we take these lads and let's spawn them somewhere good. Let's go here. I think this is a good area for them. And then we have turn 5 random event, which is 1st Panzer SS Corps, or 1st SS Panzer Corps breakthrough. And that is going to be that, let me read it, 3rd Battalion, nope, no supply dice roll and no attacks this turn. So I can move, but I can't attack, I can't roll for supplies. So is there anyone that I would like to move is the question. I feel like their position is pretty good. I need to get closer to the hotel. These guys can kind of focus on this area, and these guys will take this and this, and we can kind of surround it. So I think I'm in a good position. I don't feel like I necessarily want to move anyone right now. Maybe these guys can go into Route Erde to defend that, so Hughes can spawn here or here on that coming turn. Okay, so we just end the turn and we go to turn 6. I believe turn 6 had rain. Yes, it had. Lovely, lovely rain. Hopefully we have a lot of supply points. We need armor support. I just can't roll good on the supply points, it seems. 10 supply points. We get 1 armor support, so we're down to 7 supply points. I'm gonna get, see here, 1 artillery and engineer support. So we are down to 4. And then I'll do 1 more armor support and 1 more artillery support. So that's the last 4 points. Okay, let's see here what we want to do. I think these guys here are going to move into... See, we have 4 turns left. I think I'll start with these guys then, and they will move into Industriegebiet. So let's move and hope for the best. And we have an ambush. An ambush is fine as long as it's not a fanatic. I'm happy. This is going to be my lead. He's going to be destroyed, but I need that extra attack power from him. So I have 12 with the 6 lead and the 6 supporters. And they have 6, 9, 10, 12 also with the rain. So the question is, do I want to push with everything? Or should I take it easy here? I only have 2 armor support and engineer supports, so we have rubble, so I have to use the engineer support at least. See here, if I use both, I'm gonna be 4 higher than them. I kind of want to be more than that, because I had bad luck lately. And I still feel like I need to save that armor support because of the rain. I'm gonna use it all. I just feel like I don't have the... I can't be like risky right now where I'm gonna lose. So 3 more because of armor support, and then 4 more because of engineer and artillery support combined with combined arms. Let's go ahead and roll. We should definitely win this, but, you know... Okay, I roll a 12, so we definitely win. And that's now US controlled, and that's an overrun, so they're still fresh. So we're gonna roll and see if we get 1 or 2. Unfortunately, a 6, so they only lose 1 VP. Okay. I don't think I'm gonna attack anything else. I am, however, gonna move my units down here, since they are fresh. And then these guys are gonna go ahead and attack into this area. Hopefully I won't have to use my armor support. And it's a barrage, so I'm gonna go ahead and lose 1 guy here. They have a combat value of 5. Plus 1 for high morale, plus 2. I have a combat value of 11. I'm gonna use my engineer and artillery support to gain 4 more, so I end up at 15. And then we go ahead and roll. Crap. I end up on 18, and he gets 7, so he rolls, he's at 15. Okay, well, it was good that I went overkill, because again, like, I tend to roll so badly for myself. We gain 1 morale, and we capture that area. Man, I feel like I'm running out of time. I only have 3 turns, and I need to bring it down 6 more. This is gonna be interesting. We go to the next turn, we receive some reinforcements, and I'm gonna put them over here. And then we have, let's see, turn 7 now, so we're gonna have rain again. And after that we have half the supply points. Last turn is no event. So let's go ahead and roll. We need a high number now. We really do. It could be good. Yeah, I think that's... Okay, that's actually very good. If the die is over 3, it's acceptable. If it's 5 or higher, it's really good. So I wouldn't say it's really good, but it's pretty good. It is 13. So let's see here. This guy needs to go back. That's 1 point. And then this guy needs to go back 2. That's 2 more points. So we're at 10. So we're going to do 1 engineer support to start with. And then 1 engineer support and 1 RT support. 1 armor support. And then finally 1 more engineer support. And that's it. So yeah, I feel like I really didn't roll too well. Again, I haven't used air support a single time, and every game I had off camera, I've had some air support, not plenty, but some at least. Where do we want to attack is the question. I think I'll start with one of the hard areas. That's what she said. Michael Scott. Okay, we have a sniper. That's definitely not too bad. He's just gonna whack one of my leaders. Defensive value though is pretty high. It's 12 with everything. 6 for him, 3 for the area, 1 for high morale, 2 for rain. I have 12 though, so that's also pretty good. And that's my lead element with 6 supporting units. So I am gonna go ahead and use artillery support and engineer support. So we gain 4. So we have 4 more than him. So I'm a little bit careful now, and I don't want to overcommit with my armor support because I am going to need that moving up ahead. So he rolls 4, so he goes to 16. I roll 8, so I go to, let's see, 24. So that's an overrun. So the sniper is dead. We capture the area. One of our leaders are sniped. And we have to roll to see if we get if they lose 1 or 2. Let's hope for an odd number now. That would be very helpful. Yes, a 3, so it goes down to 10. I only need to take out 1 more area now for that morale to drop to low. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna attack with these guys into one of these suburban areas, which should be pretty easy to take out if I'm not too unlucky. And it's an ambush, that's fine. Combat value 4, 2, that's 6. 8 with rain, 9 with high morale. I'm gonna use this as my lead element. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I am gonna use, I'll go with 1 artillery support and 1 engineer support. So I get +4, so I go from 10 to 14. So I am 5 ahead. So this likely would be in our favor. And we gain 5, so we end up at 19. And they get 6, so they end up at 15. So that's a victory. And it was an ambush, so these guys goes here, and they lose morale. So they are now at shaken. Very good. And that's it for this turn. I could attack with these 2 groups, of course. These ones, so these 3 groups actually, but I don't want to attack into any suburban areas since that's not going to help me to make them lose any VP. So I would only really lose on that. So we go to 8th turn. So there's just 2 more turns, and this turn is going to be the less in points. Also note that since the morale is shaken, now all of the rubble is ignored. So we don't have to commit engineer support to remove that rubble. Let's go ahead and roll for our supplies, and keep in mind it's going to be half down. A really bad roll. 5, 7, so that's gonna be 3 supply points. Wow. That is not good, my friends. I'll do 1 artillery support for 1 point. I'll do this guy back to his mates for 1 point. And for the last point, I do 1 more artillery support. We should also roll for the leader. So every game I've recorded, this is the 3rd one, every leader has been killed in action. 1 to 2 is killed in action, 3 to 4 is lightly wounded, returning next turn, 5 to 6 is returned directly. 5 to, oh man, I can't believe it, he returns, thank the Lord. Okay, so we have clear weather, and they have low morale, so we should be able to do some damage right now. So we have only 2 turns remaining, and we need to bring them down to 6 morale. So I am contemplating, because if I just do as normal, I risk to only go down to 7. But actually then one group could take 6. We don't know what's hiding here. It could be a fanatic, and that's going to be very hard to beat. And we're probably going to be out of the support we need. This is a tough one. Let's go ahead and start with this group into here, because if I can't take this area for some reason, I can send this group into Lucerne Hospital, and this might be 2 VP less. So we go in to this area. I actually really enjoy these optional rules. I think the historical random events makes it more balanced, and the other rules I like too. It's very fun. Oops, let's go ahead and see what we have here, guys. Elite, okay, they don't scare me. That's gonna be 11 in combat value, and I'm at 12. And the rubble we can ignore now since they're at shaken, and I'm actually gonna be at 13 because I have their morale shaken. So I think just using the standard engineer, or maybe I should actually use armor support. I use the armor support to gain 3, so we're at 16. Or maybe not actually, since they're elites. Yeah, since they're elites, maybe I don't use the armor support. Instead I use the engineer and artillery support, so I gain 4. So I go to 17. Because I mean, for them to roll 6 higher than me, it is definitely possible, but... So the question now is, I could also commit the armor support. The problem to that is, if I do that, I'm only going to have artillery support and 1 armor support left, and I need to take at least 1 more area to bring down the VP. So I'm not quite sure here what to do. They have 3 dice, and they can roll a lot better than me. So this is a hard decision. I still have 2 armor supports left though, so I could use 1 more in that second area if I need it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and use that armor support, guys. So I gain 3, so I'm at 20. And we're gonna see if that was stupid or not. See what I got. I got 5, so I'm ending up at 25. And he got 7, so he ends up at 18. So yeah, maybe that was a little bit stupid. But yeah, we won the area. So that's good at least. Let's hope for an odd number now. That would certainly be helpful. Yes. So they're down at 7. Okay, so we're gonna take 1 suburban area, and then next turn is the only hotel remaining. Those elites, yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna move in to Westpark with this group. That's the 2nd Battalion supported by an artillery gun. And Fanatics, that's not very good. So they have 7. And I have 6. I have 12, 13. And I am contemplating if I should use that armor support. I need to overrun them here. I need to roll 6 higher than them. I'm not going to risk it. I'll use my armor support and my artillery support. So artillery is 1, armor is 1, 2, 3, and then we actually get 1 more due to the fact that we have combined arms with the armor support and artillery used. So let's go ahead and roll. Again, we need to roll 6 higher than them. And we definitely did that. We rolled 9 and they rolled 6, so they end up on 13. And I end up on, let's see, I'm at 18, so I end up on 27. So that's an overrun. These guys are down for the count. And here we go. So they're down at 6 morale now. And again, let me read the rule. American control of historical German HQ in the Hotel Quellenhof, when German morale is 6 or lower, creates a sudden collapse of the German defense and is an automatic victory. So everything is going to hang now on the last turn. So let's go ahead and refresh our troops. And we go to the next turn. And pretty much everything is going to hang on what I roll now, because with no support, taking that area is hard. If I can get a lot of support, it's going to be easier, definitely. If we get Fanatics there, I don't know what's going to happen, guys. Let's roll for the last... the random event now is none, by the way. Let's roll for the last supplies. Oh, man. Couldn't I get a better roll than that? 7? Are you serious? 3 points goes to armor support. And I could use those last 4 points for air support, but instead I get 1 engineer and 1 artillery support, so I'm down to 1. And I mean, that's very unfortunate. If I would have rolled 3 more, I would have gotten that air support. I really wanted that. And it's not worth it to sacrifice, because basically what I have to sacrifice is the armor support and artillery support. That's 4 points. And then I also lose the combined arms, so it's 5 points. And the air support can be 6, but it can also be 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. So it's not risking that. It's not worth risking 5 combat points and then rolling a 1 with the air support. So unfortunately, no air support this game either. That's a big disappointment for me. I really was looking forward to storming the headquarters with all the support available. Yeah, we never made it to Lausberg Hill. I have had also in my mind that we would storm it with infantry, leaving the artillery behind, but that didn't happen. Okay, let's see what we have here, guys. What I really don't want is Fanatics. I'm fine with a barrage, I'm fine with elites, I'm fine with a sniper. I don't want Fanatics. It's an elite. It's a very high combat value though, so it's 9. And then plus 4, so they are at 13. That's pretty high. Especially since they're gonna roll 3 dice. I am at 13 as well. 6 because of my lead element. Plus 6 because of my supporting companies and their leaders. Plus 1 because of shaken morale. So we're at 7. And then, of course, we use artillery support. That is a plus 1 for us. We use the engineer support. And that is a plus 2. Plus 1 because of combined arms. And then we use armor support. That is a plus 3. 1, 2, 3. So we are 7 ahead of the enemy. But the enemy rolls 3 dice. So this is very epic. I mean, this is how balanced this game is. And again, with the optional rules, I think it feels even more balanced. that everything comes down to one last roll in the last turn. So again, if we win this roll, we win the game. If we lose the roll, we will have lost the game. I mean, I could potentially retreat and attack with this group, but actually you can't do that. You cannot go into an area that has been attacked this turn. So it really does literally come down to this last roll. You want me to drag this out any longer? Because I don't want to do it. Now I'm sitting on the edge of my chair again. Okay, last roll, guys. Godspeed. Oh, it's not looking good for me, guys. It is not looking good. They roll 6, I roll 5. Hey, boy. So, 19, 25. I roll 5. I can't believe it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a stalemate, guys. That's a stalemate. No! My lead element is killed. My units have to retreat. And this stuff should be gone. They gain 1 morale. And my units are also spent. Oh man, I can't believe it. Oh, I love winning. I don't like losing. And I lost on a 1 on the last roll. Okay, guys, I'm sorry to say that the elite killed us. If we would have rolled better on that air support roll, we would have, on the supply dice roll, we would have been guaranteed to win. Let's roll a d6 just to see what the air support would have given us, because if we roll a 6 now, the air support would have won instead of using the engineers, the artillery and the tank. I don't think that's going to happen, but we roll 5. So the air support provided the same amount of damage reduction as the tank and artillery. I would have needed a 6 with air support to win without them. So I feel like this was fate. That's going to be my excuse anyway. Fate got me. But again, if I would have had enough supply points on that, I really rolled badly with the supply points almost every turn except 1, and especially in the last turn. And if I would have had air support, which was my final plan, to send my best group of soldiers with all the support available, you know, storming that headquarters, but I couldn't do that. So that's enough of my excuses, guys. I hope that you enjoyed watching me get my butt kicked for the second time. It was fun, even though I lost. And again, this is a great game. If you can get your hands on it, buy it, because it's very fun. And I do recommend adding all of the optional rules, even the one where you shouldn't split your companies, because I think it's a nice balance to make it to not make it too easy. And I think this feels like a very, with this one I also like the historical random events. And the first reason is because it feels balanced, and the second reason is because then you get to try all of them. I guess the only one, let's see here. Yeah, the only one you don't get is the first. Oh, okay. So I was wrong before when I said that the first SS Panzer Corps said that the 2nd Battalion, and then on the random it says the 3rd, because here it's actually both of them. So if you roll a 4 or 5, it's 2nd Battalions may not move, may move but not attack, and if you roll 16 to 17, it's 3rd Battalion. So it can be any of those two. But basically with the historical random events, you have one of every random event. So I think that's cool too. So you get to experience all of them, because I actually never had, I had one of those Panzer Corps offensives once, but I never had the breakthrough, which means that you skip a turn. So I like that. If you get the game, I would definitely recommend playing with optional rules. That's really fun, and trying to get that headquarter, like I had this epic feeling as I was playing surrounding that HQ. I originally planned for this unit to actually go up here, so we could surround them from both directions, but that didn't work out in the end. But that's just how it is. You're gonna have to do some just quick decisions, and plans might change. Okay, guys, I want to thank you as usual for watching. If you want to see me play more games and make more reviews and unboxings, how to play videos, subscribe to the channel. I would also greatly appreciate if you would comment. That means a lot to me. Did you think I made some tactical error or decision here? Did I forget any rules? I hope not. Also, liking the video helps out a lot. All right, guys, I hope to see you next time.